Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Marlene. Today's video is going to be based on this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, but it's going to be from the perspective of spiritual discipline. So basically from like spiritual, how to obtain like spiritual discipline. Okay, so I'm gonna do this video in the format of just reading my notes because I tend to ramble a lot and pause a lot when I'm going off my notes. So hopefully this is a lot easier for you to understand and let me know what you think, because I'm trying to improve, my videos, the audios, the visuals, everything. So I hope this video it's like good enough, right? So let's get started. So since when you are in the spiritual path, it means that you're on the path of healing, that you're on the path of ascension, where you're approaching the light and leaving the shadow behind. You're transmuting light into shadow. In the world of self-development, there is a lot of talk about habits, whether it's habits for minimalism, beauty habits, eating habits, physical habits, among many other habits. A habit is basically a practice of doing something every day that improves some area of your life, and this accumulation of habits is known as a routine. So the concept of atomic habits was mainly popularized again in the world of self-improvement with this book by James Clear, in which he describes how many small like situations that were being done consistently and persistently generated a big long-term change. That every small change we make with the purpose of improving can result in a big change in our lives. By maintaining this atomic habits, you're learning the value of discipline. So why is discipline so important? If we look back at the material of Ra, he emphasizes a lot on discipline to gain spiritual balance. So discipline, he explains, comes in a form of knowing yourself, accept yourself, and become the creator, which I already mentioned in another video. But for this one, we now understand that even in the raw material, discipline is something to be worked on. So it is important if you want to be on the spiritual path of ascension and to have practices that are going to keep you in like a spiritual progress. So we know that spirituality is not something that can be measured, but that over time it can be felt and seen. In this book, The Atomic Habits, they give an example of cyclists where they begin to make a 1% change every day in something, such as changing their massage gels, how they wash their hands, to how they change their mattress and pillow to better get more quality sleep, and even to painting the truck white so they can see all the dust particles like in the bike, right? So the same things happens when you want to make change at a spiritual level. You begin with very small changes, and you can do this at the level of your chakra. So when you want to find your spiritual gifts based on like your chakras, right? You to heal the dualities, remember why you came here for. So this can be things such as meditating, controlling, or like breath work, grounding, practicing mindfulness, reading, writing, exercising, eating healthy, among several other things. After you decide which habit you want to take on, try to keep a note. Like it emphasizes here to have like a habit tracker, right, where you're going to track some sort of progress. That is up to you to decide how long it's going to take, and it's mainly for you to visually see any sort of progress. So if there is a need to change a habit or continue with one of them, this is a good way to see it overall. So it all depends on you, what you consider necessary. Unless you find a good spiritual guide that can help you and advise you which habits you can do to improve what you want to reach. So these healthy habits will act as a kind of cleansing for your aura, your energy field. Since these habits also carry into your energy, the more you embody your good habits, the more your vibration will rise. We know that on the vibrational scale, peace vibrates higher than happiness. So therefore, on a long-term path, it is better to do habits for like peace of mind than to do them for something instantaneously. So this change will cause you to repel certain situations, people, or places because they will no longer resonate with your previous vibrations, your old patterns, your old idea, or even concepts of you. So you might start wondering why you even decided to accept certain situations in the first place. So for example, if you have never meditated, you will start for a short time every day. You will abandon inconsistency for self-discipline. So when you no longer find the motivation, your discipline will help you carry out these habits. But also, let's say you try several times and it just doesn't work. Well, you can try to find something else, such as painting, swimming, or going for a walk, until you manage to meditate. This will depend on your intuition, your commitment to bringing this change. You can also find a good spiritual guide that can help you see which activity needs to be modified, because a good spiritual guide will be aware that all things don't unnecessarily work on our first tries. So with spiritual habits, there will be days when you might feel bad and you can't do them, or you don't want to do them, but you gotta remember that the Hermetic laws from the Kybalion, so like the law of rhythm. So when you do things little by little every day, it's like you're on this rhythm, right? That's gonna strengthen that habit, build discipline. So strengthening that habit will keep you like in moving forward, right? So let's say you want to learn to play the guitar. Learning music is gonna take time and dedication, so you don't expect to play like a professional on their first time, right? So the same way goes for your chakras. Your gifts are not gonna come right on the first try, but eventually they will come, and you're gonna learn when and where to use them and how to refine them, right? You're gonna keep track of them. So it's gonna be seen more as like when you look at an old photo of yourself and you see something different in yourself, but it's not necessarily a physical change. It's more um about your aura, because this inner work that you do will also reflect on the outside. So each habit you form will be like taking a step on that ladder where you're reaching for more light and letting go of the ego. You will learn to commit to yourself. These healthy habits is like you're loading your aura with good energy. It's gonna act as a repellent for negative entities. So for example, if forming the habit of getting up early and doing your exercises every day, um you stop listening to the voice of your ego, right? That you're gonna stop being lazy because you want to improve yourself. You're on this journey, you're committed to yourself, so you're gonna start slowly, and your gifts are slowly also gonna be activated because you're gonna start learning how to use them, because you're transmuting again the shadow, your ego, for light. It's not necessarily doing habits just to have your gifts. It's not something from the ego, like you're working with all of um your chakras, right? So in case you want to like focus just on one energy, well, you can do things like monk mode, right? Where it's like the extreme version of like hermit mode, where you just focus on like healing one certain aspect of yourself. So for example, I've seen this energy of continued growth in the minimalism community, where they let go of things little by little until they learn how to detach from their objects, right? Because this letting go also heals them, makes them feel at peace, and they feel some sort of fulfillment within themselves, that they now can even help others do the same things. And these habits of minimalism, like, they help them to understand how energy pretty much like moves around, to not be stagnant. So you will maintain these habits for a period of time, and the idea is for you to keep progress of them, so that at the end of the period, again, you see back at the progress, and maybe you can like reward yourself, right? um but don't fall for the false like dopamine, right, where you just say you're gonna do something and you end up not doing it, so you trick your brain to believe that you already have done the work. And this is referred in the book where they talk about the dopamine cycles, which is a cue, desire, response, and recognition. So you always want to maintain some sort of rewards for yourself for even achieving the um, easiest like goal that you have. So always like trying to keep that in mind, so it's easier for you to keep having those habits. So if you don't, if you just want to do this and like kind of just pretend like you're doing them but not actually doing the habits, you're obviously only like fooling yourself. But this in the spiritual world can be translated as spiritual escapism. Is when you already want to have the gifts, right? Like telepathy, like astral traveling, but you pretty much are just want to have the rewards of the third eye, but you're not doing this for helping anybody else, for or even for yourself. So um you don't learn about responsibilities. You don't, it's kind of like these people that only go on this like spiritual trips and they only do like ayahuasca or shrooms. And even though it's holistic medicine, in a way it's kind of like they're abusing them, like they're using all this energy and not even integrating what they have learned on those experiences, right? So they're not really, again, like doing the work. So that's why it's called or spiritual bypassing. Like they're just want to learn, they just want to stay in the like the astral, but not really on integrating that knowledge here on the 3D world. So realizing the this need of desperation where you want to obtain everything now is more like a focus on something um that you need for the moment. Like you need to understand that this is gonna only let you to existential crisis. So you're going to have days when you don't want to do this habit, especially when you start a new one, because you're not used to it. But that's why it's done little by little. It doesn't matter that you miss these practices from time to time, but um it doesn't have to be all on just excuses all the time. Like it's a commitment to yourself. The commitment is to the spiritual path, requires you to have great discipline. So help, if you ask for help, there's nothing wrong with it, because in the spiritual community you will always have help available to you. But if you don't take it, you don't work with it, you're only becoming a victim of yourself. So having spiritual habits also goes beyond having discipline, is having compassion towards yourself, or having this awareness that you're gonna make the change. That's gonna take time, that you want to hold more light and just feeling better every day, right? So because this commitment of vibrating higher is gonna lead you to inner peace for a longer term, because on the scale of vibration, peace vibrates higher than um, happiness, which is only temporarily. Okay, so this is all I have for today. Hope you got something from this video, and I'll see you on my next video. Okay, bye.